I kind of just want to show, like, with some pages that don't have the little sticky notes, what I would, like, what kind of notes I would take. So, like, this first one, I think it would be, like, a good way to practice on how to do backgrounds, because mine tend to be boring, and with this, I think if you're, like, watching a movie and there's, like, the angles from the top, it'd be good to just pause the movie, take a screenshot. If it's you're watching a video on YouTube, or if it's something on your TV and you can take a screenshot with your phone. So I think it's pretty cool. Or if you have like a little drone and just like fly it over the building. Let me see. I think this one would be cool because like just having the action line, speed lines, the sound effects, and then just like the way, what would be the right word? Like pretty much the effect of like all that and well, pretty much Denji going through the building, and you have like the windows, how they're exploding, not exploding, but like all the broken glass. So it's kind of cool to just show like the after effect. So that'd be like cool note right there. But this one for sure, the way how the screen tones are, and of course here, one thing I always say is like the panels, and I don't want to say that because I say it all the time, so I kind of want to like share something new they can actually like learn from. Instead of me saying panel or keyframes, my bad. I call it keyframes because it's like she's scared, she looks down, she's gone. So yeah, I'm just gonna say with this one, keyframes. So from this point on to the rest of the video, I'm not gonna say keyframes because I've already said it 1,000 times. So this one right here, I think it'd be cool, just like the background, and whenever you have like this right here, as like it gives like a 3-dimensional kind of feel to it. And then like where Denji's here, Denji's bigger than the bad right here, and that's because like Denji's close to the camera. So I think just like it kind of shows you just to have like a better idea on the when you're close to the camera, it's gonna be larger. Like look how small she is. Her whole body is smaller than Denji's head because of the angle. Or not because of the angle, but because she's far away from the camera. So it kind of gives you a good idea, like whenever you're creating these panels. And also too, if you're watching a movie, it's a good idea just to pause it, and whenever people are farther away, smaller, and all that. Let me just keep on going. So this right here, one thing I mentioned in other videos is that for me, I always try to find a way to use a lot of space without using a lot of backgrounds. That way I can, it gives you like more information on what's happening, and that way I don't have to spend so much time on a background, and I can save time and spend, just keep the story going. I think this would be perfect because there's really not that much to it. It's just the speed lines, the car, the sound effects or sound effect, and then that. And then with the background, it's pretty much screen tones. Just like, I don't even know what you call that. And then just like little markings with rocks. And in a way, it kind of gives you a good idea of the atmosphere. And yeah, so I mean, that'd be something that I would jot down for notes. This right here, like the way the speech bubble is, which in the other videos I mentioned like 1,000 times. Like here too, it takes about like 30% of the panel. So I like how Fujimoto does that, and it saves a lot of time. Cause trust me, one chapter probably has minimum. So each page is gonna have about 4 panels, so 20 pages. So you're looking at about 80 to probably 120 panels in one chapter. So if you can take more space with speech bubbles, and you can make it effective, like it's cool. Like right here, same thing. There's really not that much background details. And even there, like, it's pretty basic, just the lines. But with the car right there, you got the speed lines, the sound effects. Same thing, you got the speed lines. And I'm not trying to say it's like easy, but Fujimoto has like a good way of like filling in the negative space. All right, keep on. That's pretty cool. Like right there, you got the speed lines, the blood, the sound effects, speech bubble. Same thing with this one. I think it'd be pretty cool because like there's pretty much no background, but because of the lines, you kind of get a good idea on the ground. And then of course the shading is really cool, which I think it'd probably be more effective to like watch a video. Or, you know, if you want to learn on the go. But for me, I'd have to watch a video because I suck at shading. I mean, what can I say? This is pretty cool. Really dynamic. Shading. RIP. Oh man, I did not plan this. My bad, YouTube. Okay, I feel like I need to slow down because YouTube's gonna say something. Follow YouTube. Okay. Man, this is pretty cool. Just like the way the background is, and like right there, it fades toward the back. So if I had a note, it would be like background because just the way it is right there. Because whenever I do backgrounds towards like the back, I tend to try to continue to have it like detailed as, I guess, the forefront. I don't know what you call it. But the thing is, whenever objects, people, buildings, whatever, a building is an object. I don't know why I said that. But whenever they're farther in the back, because it's so distant, as long as this has the details, as you go back, you really don't need it. So that'd be a pretty cool note. Yeah. I'm gonna slowly go because Fujimoto is he has a way of just showing people's, you know. This right here, this would be pretty cool. Note for the background, and like just how it like it's just black. Excuse me. It's just like black for the street, and it kind of fades right there at the lines. Like the windows right there. It's just something I'm trying to work on. Like, how do I give like more information on the background but not spend too much time? Or I can just knock it out, move on to next. The way the screen tones are used, that's pretty cool. I like this one because you got the sound effect and, you know, pretty simple. All right, slow down. Like this one, there's a note of a background fade. So you got the screen tones and it kind of just fades in. That, I like the screen tones, how they're super dark. That's pretty cool. Here, you got the speed lines. Same thing, screen tones. The way the Fujimoto uses the screen tones is pretty cool. RIP. Let's see. This one right here, the way the sound effect goes along with the motion, that's pretty cool. And then just like the speed lines right there, and then the way I think there's screen tones. Either way, that's pretty cool. just right there, how there's like, it looks like there's a motion from that thing getting hit. I don't know what you call it, a worm. Right there, how the sound effects kind of have like a blur, like they go along with the speed lines. Same thing. I think it's pretty cool how the way he uses the screen tones. That's pretty cool because it like overlaps the panels. That is pretty cool. I like how it does that with the speech bubbles. It takes like half the panel. Like I was saying, that's pretty cool. The speech bubbles. He tends to do that a lot, to where like vertically it takes like the whole thing. I've seen some where it's like 80% speech bubble, the mouth, 80% speech bubble. Not 80%, my bad. That'd be like 40%, 10, no, my bad. 40, 20, and then 40. Can't do math here. Same thing, I think it's pretty cool, you know, the screen tones. The way how the arm is like popping out of the panel. You have just like the speed lines to show some motion within the legs. Same thing right there. And I think it's pretty cool how with like sound effects they have like, instead of just being like a dark line, there's like the lines going like towards the motion. And like with this, same thing. Like I think they're like very, very small screen tones. That's pretty cool. And then with this one, I think it's pretty cool how like you have the speech bubble here, and then like around it there's like no details. Even like around there's really not that many details. And like I was saying, it's just a cool way to, how can I, you know, certain panels, how can I work on the background but also like be efficient with time. So it's pretty cool there, because that's just something I tend to overthink. And then right here, what's pretty cool is like, because there's no like background or nothing, you just focus on the hand, and because pretty much the whole panel is just the hand, it just makes you focus on that. And then right here, I think it's pretty cool how like the background just like fades right there. I mean, and it's a pretty cool panel. So same thing, it would also help too just with shading, because I know that like whenever I work on a background, I really don't think about like the shading like under, I have no idea what you'd call it, but like but just like right there's shading, right there shading, right there, because of like the top of the I don't know what you call it, but there's a shading there. And then like right there, there's always shading under the AC. A little bit shading there, and just the way how it like fades in, like I was saying, like it's pretty cool because you have this cool background, and then like right there, he doesn't add more detail. So in a way, it's just like it'd be a cool note to where you don't have to like spend another, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes or an hour. You can just kind of fade in. So like I said, it's pretty cool. And then right there, it's just like there's no background at all, and the shading is really, really cool. And it just focuses on what he's saying. And then this one, the same thing. Like it's pretty cool how like it fades right there. The sound effect for the speed lines, they go along with the speed lines. The screen tones, that's really cool. The same thing like the shading right there. You got shading right there, right there on the side of the AC unit. And Then you got some screen tones right there. You got some of the shading right there. Some of the shading right there with the text. You have just the way the lines are done. That's pretty cool. And you got some screen tones right there. So I think it's pretty cool. Like you can just, from a lot of different panels, you know, depending on what you're working on. So like with me, because backgrounds is something I'm really trying to like get better at, and just how can I be efficient with time? How can I put in like a lot of information on what's happening, like the background, and I think that's like one big thing that's like pretty cool. And also too, like whenever there's sound effects, how can I make it like pretty much just look cool? Like I don't think there's like a very sophisticated way of saying that. So right here, I think that's super cool. Just how like, because it's supposed to be like smoke, but it's pretty cool how he lets the screen tones create the silhouette of the smoke. So I think right here, like the note I would take is just like the way the shot is made, and the shot is just like the angle. So because Denji's like close to the camera, he seems bigger, and then just, yeah, I think that's what I would take away from that. Of course, you can take away from like the shading, the way how it's done, the way like right there, like the shading starts to like blend in with the, just like the pants. It can be the pose. It could be like just the background, how like it's, you can see the silhouettes of like the different shapes of the smoke. And then just like right there, you know, like sometimes you don't have to do a crazy panel, like excuse me, sometimes it can just be simple, and then you get criticized. You get criticized for making simple poses. I'm not talking about Fujimoto, I'm talking about me. That's just how it is. Yeah, so and if you're working on expressions, I mean, Fujimoto does a good job with that. So I mean, there's always Kobini. She'll give you a very anxious expression. So, you know, if that's something you're working on, you can just put expressions and you can just focus on that. You know, the shading, I mean, there's a lot of good opportunities to learn shading with the panels. The background, like the way the screen tones, like that's super cool. And then just like the scratchiness of the lines right there, that's pretty cool. The speech bubbles, the way they're done, it kind of has like this shaky, unconscious, what just happened moment. So it's pretty cool too. Like sometimes you can convey emotions through the speech bubbles, and that's another one. And same thing right there. Like the note can be like just a shot of the panel, and it's just like because Denji's close to the camera. I mean, his head's bigger than half of Aki's body, and it's not because, you know, he has a big head. It's just because he's closer to the camera. And then right there, you already know. Keyframes. So yeah, that's just some, you know, some random notes that I would take. But yeah, it just really depends on what are you trying to learn, what are you working on. There's no perfect way to take notes. It's just as long as it's helping you get to, you know, what you're working on, because everybody's at a different place. Some people want to get better at backgrounds, expressions, shading, the speech bubbles, dialogue. maybe they want to, you know, have it towards like, you know, you're zooming in, zooming out. Maybe it's the exact same panel, but I guess same thing. Like it could be the exact same panel you put over here, but you zoom in and you focus on the mouth, and then over here you focus on the eye, because Fujimoto has done that. I'm laughing because I've done that too, and it's I've been told that I copy and paste panels. I was like, yeah. It's just something I learned from Fujimoto that's pretty cool. And, you know, if you're watching a movie and you pause it, that tends to happen too. But whatever. I'm just sharing the notes that I'm taking. Like I said, there's no wrong way. As long as it's helping you get to whatever your goal is at that moment, you're good. And maybe if you go through the manga again, like whichever manga, whether it's Chainsaw Man, Hunter x Hunter, Dandadan, Yu Yu Hakusho, Metamorphosis. I'm just kidding. That's the only thing that matters. Are you improving? Are you getting better at that thing you're struggling with? And the cool thing is, because they have, you know, a lot of these manga artists tend to have a lot of experience, you can just open up a manga, scroll through, you like something. If you're on your iPad, if you're on your phone, if you're on your laptop, screenshot it, take a note, put in your phone, you know, go on Google Drive, create a folder and have all these different things, backgrounds, you know, whatever you're working on. And if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. You know, you have a notepad. So yeah. So as long as you're getting better, that's all that matters.
Mamma mia!